Yo, I done 6 shows in a row, so my voice is hurting. Fans wanna hear what you're in person. Oi, oi. She want a man from Brum, but she settled with a boy from Burton. I still see feds on the block, still see the boy them lurking.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Beard Necessities here on the Facial Fuzz. My name is Adam, and in today's episode I'm going to be talking to you about the benefits of making your own beard oil at home, and I'm also going to show you how I do it as well. So first things first, you're going to want to actually buy yourself some oil. So you'll need a carrier oil to begin with, of which I'm using jojoba oil, and you don't have to use this, but the reason that I've chosen to use this is that it's scentless, so I can add essential oils to it and give it some smells that I want it to have. So that's one of the benefits, and plus this is also shown to be probably one of the best oils for our skin. It replicates the natural skin oils that we have. It's the closest thing out there that actually does that, so that's one of the reasons why I've picked this. And also it's low in oleic and linoleic acid, which are known to be DHT blockers. I won't get into DHT blockers too much in this video, but there is a link in the description to Sam from Beardology, who created a great video on DHT blockers and his thoughts around them. So do feel free to go and check that out and drop him a comment telling him that I sent you. Another thing that you're going to need, speaking of scent, is something to give it some smell. So I have a small bottle of cedarwood oil. Now it's only 10 mils, but I'm only going to be adding about 100 drops of this into my 100 millilitres. That's about 5% mix, and that will give it a nice little smell. So it's quite fruity kind of smell itself, with a little bit of kind of like a woody smell, as you would imagine, but I quite like the smell of that, so I've decided to buy that. And also from the chemical composition, I can't find anything in there that looks like it's going to be doing me any kind of damage in terms of DHT blocking, and I personally try and avoid them where possible, but I'll get onto that in a little moment. Now, one of the first things to consider is cost. So it's pretty cheap to make your own beard oil at home. I got both of these together for £8.50, and this was only actually about £1.69 for my essential oil. You may want to use more than one essential oil in your mix. I'm only going to be using one. Obviously that will increase the cost slightly, but you're not going to use a full bottle of essential oil in each of your beard mixes, so you'll probably have over half of each bottle left by the time that you're kind of done with your mix, and then you'll be able to reuse that in future mixes. So economies of scale wise, you're probably going to save yourself a little bit of money over time, and you're going to know exactly what you're putting in there. And that brings me on nicely to my next point. Now, a lot of commercial beard oils that are sold out there, they have a lot of what are known as DHT blockers in. Now, companies generally do this because they obviously have the scientific evidence and studies that show that those oils are good for the head because they block DHT. But then they fail to realise a lot of the time that this hair right here is actually caused by that hormone. And so it's always quite funny to me when I see beard oil saying, you know, will increase beard growth and give you a thicker, fuller beard. The reality is it's not going to do that. It's probably going to have the adverse effect. And I mean, we don't know too much about DHT blockers, but from what we've seen of the science behind facial hair, we can assume that by putting a DHT blocker on your face, you're probably going to have some negative effects on your facial hair. It's one of the things that you don't necessarily want to block. I would advise you avoid doing that where possible, but really it's up to you. As I've said before, you can kind of put whatever you want into your beard oil mix, but it's something to think about. And one more benefit really of making your own beard oil, and it might just be me because I'm a little bit weird, is that it's fun. So it's quite nice to be able to create your own combinations and find out exactly what you like and exactly the kind of scent that you want to get, the feeling that you want to get. Some people like using peppermint, for example, because it's quite refreshing and cooling. But you can kind of have at it yourself, figure out the combinations that you want to do together. Piece of advice on that, I would say do smaller batches to begin with. It was some good advice handed to me by Pablo from the Minox Beard Spot, just because you can kind of get an idea from that smaller batch whether that's something you want to create a bigger amount of and continue to keep using, because once you've poured all of this into this, you might not like it. I've obviously checked already. I do quite like the scent of this, and this doesn't smell, so it's not going to interfere with anything. So I'm going to be mixing these two together today, and I'm going to get into that right now and show you how I do it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to kind of prepare yourself a little area to do this. So I'm just doing this on my actual sideboard at the moment, but I have my golden jojoba oil. So I've already taken the liberty of removing the little dropper that usually comes in this. I will be putting that back in afterwards to show you that very quickly. That just slots in here, so I've just taken that out for the purposes of this video. Next thing you want to do is get your essential oil. So obviously I'm using the cedar wood, as I said before, and this still has its little dropper in, and this is quite handy because you can then count the amount of drops that you do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed this up now, and I'm going to pour 100 drops of this into here. So 100 drops per 100 millilitres is about 5% mix. But I'll just pop this lid back in here. And I recommend that you give this a little shake as well once it's all together, just to ensure that it's all nice and mixed around, and then just kind of shake it up. Looks a little bit dodgy, but that's all you need to do. Now, I know I'm probably going to get some questions from people about, can they use castor oil? Yes, you can. I personally don't like castor oil because I don't like how it smells and I don't like its consistency, but it's up to you really if you want to use it. So my advice is jojoba oil is probably better. It will keep your hair from getting split ends, which is another reason why you want to be using a beard oil, and it will keep your hair well conditioned. So that's it really, guys. Afterwards you can apply your beard oil and obviously help keep your hair and your skin healthy, and I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you did like this video, then please do hit the like button. If you have any questions, then do drop me a comment below, and if you want to keep up to date with videos like this, then please do hit that subscribe button as well. I've been Adam from the Facial Fuzz, and I will see you again next time. Friends, aspiring beardsmen, lay down your shears, because as of tomorrow it is No Shave November. Now I will be getting involved. Mine's probably more of a no trim November because I haven't had a shave for quite a while now.